CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Thanks for joining us this Friday. Our top story, stocks taking a dive after a weak jobs report and news of President Trump's new tariff rates. Let's get right over to the big board right now. The Dow is down almost 600 points this afternoon as investors have been reacting to the signs of a weakening economy. The NASDAQ plunged more than 2.5%. The S&P 500 fell almost 2%. Let's take a live look at our interactive stock market heat map. It's brought to us by FinViz, showing the top 500 stocks. And you can see a lot of red there across the board. Bank stocks getting hit hard today. And Amazon down more than 8% after reporting a weak earnings forecast. Taking a closer look at that jobs report that has been fueling that sell-off, the labor market Department reported that the U.S. added 73,000 jobs in July, and that is below expectations. The unemployment rate also slightly rose from June to 4.2%. Another big surprise, job gains from the previous 2 months were revised down sharply. Most of the job gains last month were in the healthcare industry. Economists are expecting President Trump's trade policies to also weaken the job market in the coming months. The Trump administration announced new tariff rates for almost 70 trading partners ahead of its deadline today. That includes a 35% rate on Canada, which is one of our top trading partners. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Stocks tumbled Friday morning, reacting to a weak jobs report and new tariff rates revealed for dozens of trading partners, ranging from 41% to 10%.
You know, we're taking in literally trillions of dollars for the country. This is making our country very rich.
The White House says it set the numbers based on trade imbalances and negotiations, but it still came as a shock to some foreign business groups, including in Switzerland, now facing a 39% levy.
We are really stunned. And it is impossible to explain what does it mean and why this decision is made so there is no rationality.
While negotiations are continuing with top trading partners Mexico and China, President Trump increased the tariff on Canadian goods to 35%, citing a lack of cooperation in curbing the flow of fentanyl.
We're seeking the best deal for Canadians.
Prime Minister Mark Carney, pushing back in a statement, wrote Canada accounts for only 1% of U.S. fentanyl imports. He went on to say Canadians will be our own best customer, creating more well-paying careers at home. While analysts say it could take months for consumers to feel the impact of tariffs,
the meat production, the hide production, the feather production can all be decimated.
Small businesses trying to make decisions now say they could be hit hardest.
We want manufacturing in the U.S., but there are some things that we're just not set up to manufacture.
Ryan Vaughn, a cowboy boot manufacturer in Texas who depends on South African ostrich leather, says his made-in-the-USA product relies on global trade.
California is suing the Trump administration over its efforts to limit gender-affirming care. That comes as today marks the first day of Transgender History Month. California Attorney General Rob Bonta joining more than a dozen AGs challenging a White House memo that said the DOJ would investigate providers who offer gender-affirming care to minors. Bonta says this is part of a larger attack on the trans community.
Blocking gender-affirming care for young people is just one prong of Trump's campaign to erase the existence of transgender individuals, scare them into the shadows of society, and deny their rights. Since taking office, Trump has issued 8 executive orders and a raft of federal actions that relentlessly target one of the smallest, most vulnerable communities in our nation.
Well, this comes as major hospitals are changing their policies in response to pressure from the Trump administration. Despite protections here in California, Kaiser and Stanford Medicine have halted gender-affirming surgeries for people younger than 19. The nonprofit that provides funding to PBS and NPR will begin winding down its operations as a result of the Trump administration's funding cuts. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting provides funds to 1,500 local public radio and TV stations. In a statement, the organization said a majority of staff positions will, quote, conclude on the last day of September. This just in, a judge in Miami has ordered Tesla to pay $329 million to victims of a deadly crash involving its autopilot driver assist technology. One person was killed and another was injured after they were hit by a Tesla driver. A federal jury found Tesla was mostly responsible for the crash because its technology failed, even though the driver admitted he was distracted by his cell phone. Legal experts say this could open the company up to more costly lawsuits in the future. Taking a live look outside after another gray start to the morning. The sun is now shining. Gorgeous shot at the Bay Bridge. And it's going to be an even warmer weekend. Meteorologist Jessica Birch has our forecast. All right, we're having some technical issues getting Jessica right now. Let's move on to a big weekend for Deadheads here in the city. San Francisco celebrating 6 decades of the Grateful Dead with a special tribute to hometown legend Jerry Garcia. Today, the city renamed a portion of Harrington Street after the co-founder and guitarist of the legendary band. Rock and roll icon grew up on Harrington Street between Alameda Boulevard and Mission Street. So now that is known as Jerry Garcia Street. Mayor Lurie joined Garcia's daughter for the commemoration.
He represented what San Francisco is all about, giving space for creativity and innovation, and most importantly, having fun.
And tomorrow is going to be Jerry Garcia Day in San Francisco. Concerts around the Excelsior District will celebrate his birthday. It's one of many celebrations continuing the city's love affair with the band. Golden Gate Park is where the 3-day concert series is going to be going down starting at 2:30 this afternoon. Roads are already closed around Golden Gate Park right now, including Middle Drive and stretches of JFK Drive. They're actually going to be closed through a series of concerts over the next few weeks, reopening by August 20th. The weekend celebration bringing a lot of Deadheads to San Francisco. Many have been hanging out in the Panhandle. Our photographers got video of concert goers car camping on Fell Street. The city's Rec and Parks Department says rangers are warning people that car camping is illegal. Well, some sad news for a major figure in Bay Area sports. A cancer diagnosis is forcing the voice of the San Francisco 49ers to step down from broadcasting. Greg Papa has called games for KNBR radio since 2019, and the station just announced his diagnosis earlier today, saying he's going to be stepping away from the mic for treatment. The Bay Area sportscaster has spent nearly 4 decades calling games for the 49ers, the Raiders, Giants, A's, and the Warriors. Papa says he is focusing on a full recovery and looking forward to returning soon. We wish him the best of luck. Well, last month, I was among the bold and the beautiful, believe it or not. A behind-the-scenes look at the preps for my cameo on the popular CBS soap opera. Well, continuing a series we've been featuring along with CBS Mornings, It Is Never Too Late. Well, you know, I'm a news person at heart, but I've always had a thing for daytime drama. And last month, we pulled some strings with the people at The Bold and the Beautiful to make one of my dreams come true. Here's a look. Little on the nervous side. I was off to CBS Television City to make my soap opera debut.
Just head to that white building with the black CBS logo.
My escort for the day, producer Rachel Herman, saw me in the artist entrance. Within a few steps. Hi. Oh my God. We run into The Bold and the Beautiful's main heartthrob. Ridge Forrester was just as dreamy in person, played by Thorsten Kaye. He was very gracious with my entourage, my brother and my mom, and I tried to play it cool. I'm normally a news anchor in San Francisco. And I retreated back into my comfort zone, journalist mode. How close is your personality to your characters?
I have one wife. And we've been together for a long time, and I don't dress like this.
Feeling a little bolder, I was off to get beautiful, starting with wardrobe. Oh my gosh. There I met Gina Chapa, who had gone shopping, especially for me.
I stalked you and did some face
Thank you.
looking and stuff like that.
I always tend toward black, obviously. Gina wasn't having any of that.
when I dress the actors that I give them a wild card at the end. But with her, I did wild cards for everything.
We picked out 3 different potential looks, all just outside of my normal comfort zone. And then... Say yes to the dress? Yeah. Before makeup, I got a peek at my dressing room. It's normally the dressing room for John McCook. That is the show's patriarch who was off work that day. Behind the scenes in the control room, where I got to observe alongside supervising producer Casey Kasperzik. We'll hear from Casey in a bit. Hi, I'm Ann. And I was passed off to Toby Lamb to get glam with a fresh face. It was time for hair. By the way, we had to blur the person sitting next to me because, spoiler alert, they are coming back from the dead. Stay tuned. Meantime, surprise, the granddaddy of the Forrester clan in the flesh.
Oh my God, it's in my room. How good.
Thank you for letting me borrow your room.
It's a great room.
And when I told him I'm playing a socialite and a customer of his family's fashion house, he was buying it.
It's one of the things that I've always said, we don't have enough of the Forrester clientele who are glamorous ladies and successful, wealthy people. We don't have those kinds of characters coming in and out.
Here I am.
Yeah. Good.
Post brush and fluff, I'm feeling my daytime drama look and ready to reunite with my dress. And who do I find in my temporary dressing room? Heather Tom, writer and actress who plays Katie Forrester.
Hi, Heather.
This is Andrew.
Oh my gosh. No, I am so sorry to cry. I'm not worthy. Oops, I forgot to play it cool again. But I jumped back into my dress, chose some jewelry, and got sewn securely into my custom outfit, ready for rehearsal. After a little paperwork, one more chance to be a total fangirl before we get to work. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm in this office. My co-actors for the scene, the Logan ladies, were all business as I prepared to make my soap opera debut come true.
Quietly, please. Here we go.
Of course, we can't give away too much before the episode actually airs in September, but we did catch up with Casey after the shoot for a little debrief.
I'm always a little concerned, like when we have people coming in guest starring like this, like are they gonna, need a little help, or is it not going to work out? And I got to say, she was so much fun to watch. I mean, she lights up on screen, and I think we're going to see a lot more of Anne's character Rana on The Bold and Beautiful.
So you can imagine I died a little bit when I heard that comment. We'll see what happens, but that episode is going to be airing on September 9th. Back to our first alert weather now. Taking a live look outside, you can see plenty of fog hanging around the bay right now, but plenty of sunshine inland, so pick your poison. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
We made it to the weekend, and as we dive into this weekend's forecast, we're expecting some warmer weather in our inland spots, kind of like what we're already seeing today over into Antioch, just a little bit more widespread. So for the most part this week and last week and the week before that, and let's be honest, the week before that, we've been all dealing with some cool weather here in the Bay Area. We've all been scratching our head wondering, why has it been so below average? Well, high pressure starting to creep in, and it's going to warm us up and dry us up as we head into the next couple days. And the Climate Prediction Center, I'll show you in just a bit, is showing above normal temperatures widespread throughout California as we head into the next 6 to 10 days too. So 70s and 80s for now throughout most our inland spots. That'll slowly turn into more 80s and some 90s right around the corner, with 70s returning into places like Oakland and San Francisco, and potentially even some 80s in those spots too. Here's what we're gearing up for today, though. Wind speeds are already starting to kick up to around 20 to 30 miles per hour. As we head into the evening hours tonight, that's the same trend anywhere from Bodega Bay all the way down into San Francisco. Some gusty conditions at times in our inland spots, too. Now, next Sunday and Monday, that's when the winds are expected to get even breezier and kick up more, pushing in from offshore. So we're going to keep a close eye on the winds around the corner into next week. For now, let's take a look at that temperature outlook. Throughout the next 6 to 10 days, so the first couple days of August, we're already starting to see warmer temperatures, and we're continuing to build that heat as we head into next week's forecast. Here's what it's going to look like for us in our inland spots right around the corner. We're still holding on tight to low 80s for now. We jump to the upper 80s tomorrow, 90s as we head into next week by Tuesday and Wednesday, and then upper 90s closer to the triple digits as early as next Thursday. That's our inland spots, though. You make your way over into the bay, a lot cooler, of course, but still, we're going to notice that warm up around the corner, jumping us up to the upper 70s.
Well, coming up, we are introducing you to a Bay Area man who has not paid an electric bill in nearly a decade. Now, he did it in this week's Project Earth. In this afternoon's Project Earth, we are speaking with a climate scientist who says clean renewable energy is powering California's power grid to levels never seen before. So much so that he has put his money and his comfort where his mouth is. Juliette Goodrich explains.
On the San Francisco Peninsula, a two-story, 3,200 square foot home with large picture windows. It must cost a fortune to heat and cool this place, right? Wrong.
To run it, it costs nothing. I have not paid an electric bill in 8 years.
Meet Mark Jacobson. Jacobson is a professor of civil and environmental engineering at Stanford University and a climate scientist.
I built this home from scratch. It's all electric. There's no gas on the property.
This is a zero net energy house. The home generates as much energy as it consumes. All the energy generated is clean and renewable with no polluting fossil fuels.
My whole goal of my career has been to understand and solve large-scale air pollution and climate problems through clean renewable energy systems.
The house is a light steel frame structure with airtight insulation. On the roof, solar panels. In the garage, a home battery system.
So I'm generating my electricity with solar on the roof, and that solar generates during the day, peaks at around noon. I use a lot less energy than I produce, and so that extra electricity first gets stored in batteries, and then the excess beyond that gets sent to the grid.
As for California's electric grid, it's undergoing a major transition to clean, renewable sources. Since 2021, about 25,000 megawatts of renewables have been added to the supply. That's enough to power nearly 250,000 homes. According to Jacobson's research, so far this year, California has run on 100% wind, water, and solar, most every day, for an average 5 hours a day.
Wind, water, solar this year has supplied 57.4% of all of California's electricity.
Those calculations don't include homes equipped with solar and battery systems.
These are sufficient to provide electricity for my home from solar for 24 hours a day for most of the year.
In addition, Jacobson uses energy-efficient electrical devices, including an induction stove.
It uses 60% less energy than gas. It boils water in half the time as gas. In each zone of the house, we have what's called a ductless mini-split heat pump.
To cool or heat the house, a heat pump transfers heat between the indoors and outdoors.
They use about 75% less energy than gas heaters because they don't actually create heat, they just move it. It looks just like an old water heater.
Then there's a heat pump electric water heater. The temperature set at 129 degrees.
It's got plenty of water for lots of showers.
Jacobson got a federal tax credit as well as a state subsidy. He's also collecting data on his home to help inform others about a combustion-free future.
Well, to dig or not to dig? That is the question. Now look at this unusual retelling of a Shakespeare classic. All right, this is wild. You've probably heard of the tragic love story, Romeo and Juliet, but have you seen the famous Shakespeare play with trucks and diggers? Yeah, this production is in Estonia, where the machines play the roles. There's a red 4x4 playing Juliet because of its size compared to the other big excavators, apparently. And you can imagine having these machines try to convey emotions of a Shakespeare play has their challenges.
So it's funny and interesting to kind of try to do these things with big machines and see like what is this kind of, how do you do it on stage? Like how do you make cars talk? How do you make them kind of understand each other?
Audiences praise the company's production for its humor, and they say the vehicles did capture the love from the original play. Who thinks of these things? That is it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to Live and then choose Bay Area.